Welcome back to Insight. Tomorrow we'll be live at Fryman Square for INC's I Wear Pink on the Square event.
So we are having our Financial Friday discussion with Casey Weed today, and this time we are talking about the financial fountain of youth. What is it? Does it exist? Tell us all about it, Casey.
Well, we all want the fountain of youth for each other,
yes,
but financially there really can be a fountain of youth. And I say that maybe you're 50 or 60 years old and you've got a 401k, you're 5-10 years from retirement. And now everybody's saying, well, you need to be a little bit more conservative. You can't quite take as much risk as you used to. You need to sit back, take it easy. You're getting kind of old for all that risk. And so you have to start setting some of that money aside. Maybe you have to put it in that account, that stable value fund that's making 2 or 3%, and start reallocating to safer places. And there's really good reason for that. We can't really go for that 7 to 10% like we once did,
right,
because what if the money's not there when we really need it? And that can happen. That happened to a lot of people over the last decade. But there can be a fountain of youth. What if you could say, well, I want to take part of that 401k and move it over to an account that's guaranteed to return 7% a year, and 10 years from now I'm going to start taking an income from that account for the rest of my life at 5 to 8%. There's potential that you might really be able to do something like that. And I think that sounds like a pretty good deal.
It sounds
I can feel that. Although I felt like he was looking at me the whole time when he was talking about you're getting to that age when... So how can somebody take advantage of something like that? How do we do that?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that there's something called an in-service rollover. And around 80% of companies out there that offer a 401k will let you roll over that part or all of that 401k if you're over 59 and a half. So that means maybe you can reposition some of that into one of these accounts that create a secondary pension for you. They create that guaranteed return and that guaranteed income that you're going to need once you get to retirement. And there's also quite a few companies that actually offer that if you're even under 59 and a half. You just have to know the right questions to ask. And that's why it's important that you sit down with someone that knows those questions. If you come in and sit down with us, we'll pick up the phone and see if this is really even an option for you.
I was going to say that to me that's the most daunting part. I feel like I don't know the right questions to ask. So it really is just a matter of coming into your office and saying, Casey, I don't know the questions. Can you help me make that list and start checking them off?
Yeah, just pick up the phone and start calling.
Okay. Well, that's a relief.
It is fun, Financial Friday. So here's one more question for you. What's a financial couch potato?
Well, we all know couch potatoes,
yes,
right?
And
We've probably been couch potatoes at some point. I know I've been guilty of that.
Every once in a while.
Sometimes when we're couch potatoes for too long, we sometimes get to a point where we can't return. You know, we should have got up and ran that mile, or we should have spent more time with the family, and things start falling apart if we start doing that for too long. The same thing's true for your financial fitness. You need to get up and run a mile every once in a while, so that you can make sure that that financial fitness stays where you want it to be, so you actually reach those goals that you have. This becomes even more important for someone that's 5 or 10, 15 years from retirement. Once you get close to retirement, maybe you're back to where you were in 2007 or 2000. Maybe it's time to make some changes so that you know that, well, I don't want the same thing to happen back in 2008 going forward right before I'm ready to retire. And so pick up the phone and call somebody, get off that couch, and make some changes today so you can really build that financial security for your family down the road.
But is it like physical fitness where maybe unlike running a mile, I can walk a little first? I mean, that running a mile may seem a little daunting. Can I walk slowly a little bit and maybe make a list of those questions? And, you know, start slowly at first, because that's where I feel like I am. I'm a little daunted, so not sprint. I can
We all
start
need
slowly.
to sometimes take baby steps.
Okay, good.
And that's what it's all about. It is really just starting the process.
Okay.
And a lot of people think it's all up to you. You have to do it all, but you really don't. That's what we're here for.
Oh, okay.
You know, we help you get to that point.
Fantastic.
Now, finally, you mentioned something about a financial sleeper hold. Please, I need to know how wrestling and finances work together.
Well, today a lot of the markets have people running for safety, running to safe places, and low interest rates have really it's really a war on seniors today. With low interest rates and volatile markets, a lot of people just don't know what to do with their money. They're taking it out of the market and sticking it in banks and savings accounts making 0 to 2%. And it's really frustrating for especially retirees and savers who are trying to put some money in a safe place and still generate a good return. And really what they've been doing for so many years is they're working with an accumulation specialist that has them, that says, well, we need to have some money in equities or we need to have some money in bonds, and this is kind of the way we do things. You need to work with a preservation specialist because there are accounts out there, if you really do your research and know what's going on out there in the financial world, there's accounts out there today that can create very good returns that can be 100% liquid, 100% insured, and create somewhere between 10 and 12% returns sometimes.
All right, all great ideas. Thank you, Casey Weed. As always, you can email Casey, info@howardbailey.com. He can answer all your questions. He'll be back next Friday. We'll be right back on Insight.